Welcome to the channel, everyone. Today I'm out here working on the custom light rack that I made for my 2023 Polaris Ranger. So I went over it with a DA with 80 grit, and then on the back side you're going to see this white stuff here. That's seam sealer, and that's sealing all of the cracks. Everything I didn't weld fully, because I didn't weld some of the stuff all the way across. You don't need to do that. But anyway, I can't get paint inside those cracks, so I'm going to seal it up, and then it's just a much better way, more professional way to finish up your project. You don't have to do that, but it's going to rust. You can't get paint inside them cracks. But anyway, I did that, and then I just got done. I went over it with 80 grit again. Sometimes that seam sealer gets like sharp little edges, and I just kind of cleaned it off. Not real concerned with this back side, because it's the back. It don't need to look very good. But anyway, I'm ready to clean it off. I got to wipe it down again, because like I said, I just went over it with 80 grit. So I'm going to do that, and then I got to try to hang this thing up so I can paint the whole thing at once. So I guess once I get it hung up and ready to paint, I will show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, so there it is, hung up. I just got some supports for the hoist. But that's how I'm going to paint it. I've got the bolt that I'm going to mount it with. So should be able to get everything painted in one shot here, front, back, everything. I'm going to epoxy prime these in black. That's what I'm going to do first. I said I sanded these with 80 grit. Now normally you wouldn't go 80 grit to paint. After I get the epoxy primer on there, I'm going to Raptor line this. So probably just going to speckle the back. I'm probably not going to completely Raptor line the back. It don't need to be completely primed or Raptor lined, but I will prime everything completely. So I'm going to get going. I take the dog probably in the house to start painting. But yeah, I gotta wipe it down too, because I got it dirty hanging it up. Wipe it down one more time and ready to shoot. Okay, so I got my paint here. This is a epoxy primer from PPG. I used to run DuPont for a long time, but the store stopped selling it. So I've been doing PPG, I don't know, last 5 years or so. Seems to be, just as good. I don't see any problems with it, but you always want to stir up your paints. And then you want to measure it out because you don't want the measurements to be off. This is pretty critical. Pretty critical when you're mixing these paints, that you mix the right ratio. This is 2 parts paint, 1 part primer catalyst, which is what's in here. So it's a two-part paint. So what I'll do there is, I know it sounds complicated, but I'll go 2 ounces of paint and then I'll add 1 ounce of the catalyst. If I go 4 ounces of paint, I'll add 2 ounces of the catalyst. So it's pretty easy, I guess, to figure it out if you make it easy on yourself. If you make it complicated, it's going to be complicated. So I think I'm going to go with about 4 ounces of primer. It really doesn't take much. You want to make sure your cans are sealed, because this stuff, it's expensive. This is a professional grade paints, guys. This is not Mickey Mouse paint in a can. This is professional stuff. So that should be the right ratio. Now you're going to mix, you want to mix this paint up really well. Sometimes there's a time limit where this has got to sit together for a little while. So you got to pay attention to that too. There's pot life. So once you mix this stuff, it'll only last so long. No matter what, if you seal it up or whatever, it's only going to last so long. So you got to keep that in mind too. You only mix in, I only mix what I shoot. I rarely, the only time I leave paint out is, between coats. Otherwise, I'm not storing paint. Not mixed up paint anyway. Anyway, there it is. It's all mixed up. So I got a strainer. I'm going to strain it before I dump it in my gun. And I use liners for my paint gun. So it's a little easier to clean up. Okay, so here's my gun. I know it's pretty dirty. I've had this thing a long time, probably since I was 15 or 16. I probably got this gun, so it was good at the time. I don't know what it is now. I use it pretty much all the time. But got my liner in here, which is this thing right here. This is the liner. Basically, it just looks like a baggie, and then there's like a bushing thing that pushes it down in there, locks it on. Then I got my paint, and it's just gonna go in there. Primer is a little thicker than your paint usually. That's just the way it is. Not too bad. This PPG stuff seems pretty good, but so there it is. I seal up my liner. I'm ready to go. Actually, with these liners, once I get the air out of it, once the air sucks out of it, I can actually flip my gun upside down and shoot upside down. So there is some advantages to having this liner over just easy cleanup. But anyway, ready to go. Ready to go paint with my ugly paint gun. It don't matter. It's ugly, but it works. So I'm getting ready to paint. Okay, so we got it all primed with the black epoxy primer. You can hear the heater. Hopefully it ain't messing up my audio. This is a new camera, but yeah, it looks good. I did 3 coats of the primer on that just because I had it. 2 coats would have been good enough, but there is a lot of angles, and when there's a lot of angles, it's hard to get all the surfaces painted. So I guess three coats is what I like to do on something like this, just to make sure I get all of the angles and everything with a good coat of primer on it. So now I'm going to head over, show you the Raptor liner that I'm going to use, and we'll get that ready to spray on. Okay, so here's the Raptor liner. I'm going to mix up just half of a bottle, and hopefully that'll be enough. I don't need a whole lot. So I'm going to do half a bottle. This is the hardener. There's 8 ounces usually for a full bottle, so I'm going to do half that. It'll be 4 fluid ounces. I've already used half this bottle on something else. I think it was a bumper or something. But I've got the U-pole. I've got their gun here that it's going to screw onto the jar here. And then I use acetone to clean that up. But we'll try to do 2 coats on that. You got to wait like an hour between coats. So yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna mix this up off camera. So I'm gonna get this mixed up, and I'm gonna start spraying that. So I got it finished up. It's been a couple days now, letting this thing kind of cure up. It needs 3 days before you can get it wet. But I really like this Raptor liner. I mean, it puts a really neat kind of finish to it. Perfect for an off-road rack like this. It looks like, to me it looks a lot like the Line-X liner without the heavy price tag. And you can do it yourself. You can, if I put a big scratch in it, I can mix some up and dab the scratch, and you'll hardly be able to notice it. Yeah, so now I've got to get my lights in. So I'm probably going to throw my lights in there, and I'll probably flip it upside down, and then probably work on like a harness, a wiring harness that I can just plug in. Okay, so I got the lights. Installed. They look good. I'm a little tighter with the Raptor liner and everything. I probably should have clearanced out my lights a little bit more, but because that stuff adds up, especially when you put a couple coats of that stuff on. But another little tip for getting these lights in, guys, a little bit of dielectric grease on the rubber gasket there will help them slide in, because it's a pretty tight fit. But I got these are Grote Micronovas, I think. Should be super bright. I guess you never saw this either, my cargo light. It's basically one of these, only in white, so everything matches. So I got everything in there except for the lights that are going right here. I don't have them on. I want to wait one more day before I put the bolt on that right there. So I'm going to flip it over and start figuring out a wire harness for these lights and the cargo light. Okay, so there's my wiring. I've got grommets here that are, it's pretty tight, so this box here is sealed up. I don't see any water getting inside that. It doesn't have a drain hole. That's kind of why I was concerned about that. So hopefully that's sealed up. I know it doesn't look the greatest, but this wiring is going to last the life of this machine or the life of this light rack, and it's going to be right the first time. So not probably that impressive to look at, but I got a plug here. This is a 3-1. This is going to be my brake lights, and then right and left turn signal, and then my cargo light is what that one's going to be. And then I got just a 2-way here, and this is going to be grounding the lights, and then the parking lights. So I got 2 plugs there, and then that takes care of the lights here. And then I've got to figure out my work lights that I'm going to have here. So that they'll have to have another plug. But this is pretty much wired up. The lights that I put here, the lights that I put in this area here, they're going to just have a plug, and then I'll have to have a plug come through my roof to meet them. So this is actually, it's ready to go on the Ranger. So probably tomorrow I'll start tearing the liner out, and we'll start getting the wires run from the machine to under the roof, and then yeah, we'll get this thing mounted up. Okay, so I've been working away, getting this rack installed. You can see I got it on the machine. I actually got it all wired up. So looks really good. It looks a lot better painted than it does not painted. Like I said, I got it wired up. I'm not going to go through all the wiring that I did. It's a bunch of wiring. It's boring work. And I don't think many people want to see that anyway. I will take you into the cab here, and I'll kind of show you. I got the headliner out still because I don't have any 1/4-inch wire loom, and I want to loom up some of these wires and stuff. So it kind of looks a little messy now, but it is what it is. It doesn't look like a factory harness, but it's not a factory harness. I got a relay up there. That's how I'm doing the running lights or parking lights when they come on when the switch comes on. I just jumped off of the one of the spots on the that bus bar that Polaris has. This is a North Star, so it has the rear bus bar already installed. If you don't have a North Star, you're gonna have to buy that or somehow get power up there. So otherwise, I got my lights up there installed. I'm not sure I need those, but because I got them ones, and then I got the cargo light, and then of course I got the Speed Tech light. That's a whole different harness that I had to run. But I got my cargo light and my other, and that is being run off my aux beam controller. I got if you want to see more on that, go check out that video. Go to my playlist on this Ranger and you can see where I installed that. And I've already got that wired up. So it was just a matter of running some wires down. I got the wires above the fuel tank in the cab there. So that's all it took to wire those up. But yeah, I'm real happy with it. I guess I can turn some of this on so you can take a look at it. I'll have pictures and video and stuff at the end of the video, but yeah, we'll turn it on and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so there's the running lights or parking lights. Anytime the switch is turned on, them come on. If I turn the switch one more time, I get the lights on the Ranger. The tail lights will come on. I guess I can show you that. So there's the full effect of all the lights that'll be on when the Ranger's running. There's a little cargo light that I set up, and it might be so bright with all the red lights I might not even need a cargo light, but I got one if I need it. And there's those lights. Those lights are super bright. I don't know if they're gonna blind you or not, but those are really bright. They're not expensive like those Hellas were, but dang, they're bright. Okay, so I almost forgot to do a demo of the turn signals. I took the turn signal and the brake light out of this running light or the tailgate light because it just didn't work the way I wanted it to work. So all that is a running light, that tailgate light. So I'm going to demo the turn signals and stuff and show you how that works. So there it is, guys. I can't turn the Speed Tech light bar on yet because the harness isn't long enough, so I got to get the extension. I'm not sure what I was thinking. I keep forgetting I got a crew cab, I guess. Everything's got to be extended to make it all the way to the front. This thing is so darn long, but yeah, I really like it, guys. Really like it. A lot of work in something like this, especially the wiring. I had some of the wiring done and it still was a chore to get this thing all wired up. But I think it was worth it. Really like the outcome. So I guess, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll see you.